Alright, so Exodus Crash, weekly Vanguard Alert Grandmaster on Prismatic Fortune's Favor Hunter. So this is my second attempt at recording this. I went through a whole commentary before and then realized my game audio was, or the video audio was way too loud, so it just drowned out everything. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. So it took me a good amount of attempts to arrive at this loadout. Everything going on here is pretty intentional. Took a decent amount of trial and error to to land on something that works, that could get me through the whole thing. And I'll just kind of explain it as it goes along. Right now we're just so there's a lot of pikes that you can use in this run, and obviously still stun the champions and everything, but once they're stunned, it's pretty easy to chunk them down with the pikes as long as they're available. Honestly, kind of made doing it over and over again pretty boring. Just every single run was just going the exact same way, no matter which loadout or build I was trying. It would just kind of take a while to get to the actual meat and potatoes of the run. But yeah, we're just moving along here. So, Fortune's Favor. This thing has been getting some mixed reviews from a lot of creators. I like it because it lets you have a very safe kind of play style while still being aggressive. So the main argument against them is that the Void Overshield can be stripped very fast in endgame content. And that is true. It doesn't let you just face tank everything. But if you treat it as a second line of defense, if you treat like playing tactically, using cover, good positioning as your first line of defense, and the overshield as, like a backup, it becomes very good. It lets you kind of peek corners more often that you wouldn't have been able to without it. Just play a little bit more aggressively while still being safe, and it works very well with with a sniper kind of loadout. So I've got two snipers here, plus Choir of One. Each of those was pretty intentional. So we had the heavy sniper to. It's gonna be good. You're gonna see me as we go along. It's gonna be good for taking out a lot of just trash mobs from a distance, harpies, dust-filled shanks. It can one-tap any of those, and it's good for popping the kinetic ruptures. So we make the kinetic ruptures with Supremacy. Supremacy is just a monster all around. It's just really good DPS, creates the kinetic ruptures super fast, and once they're made, we just swap to the heavy sniper and pop them. And then Choir for ad clear. I experimented with Graviton Lance for ad clear, just since it's a primary. It just wasn't hitting hard enough. Also Graviton can stun overloads, but yeah, it just wasn't hitting hard enough. And Choir was. Choir is a special weapon. Choir is also a monster, and got us through it. Choir's got a lot going for it. It does a lot of precision damage. It basically acts like a shotgun if you hip fire it. And it's got destabilizing rounds for that ad clear. So that pretty much makes it so our only overload options are from abilities, but you'll be able to see that's just really not going to be a problem. We've got Duskfield and Ascension, both of which are fantastic for overload stuns. We do have Grenadier, today's one of the modifiers was Grenadier. Not much we can do about that. This build would absolutely still work without it. Did not crutch on the grenade regen too much. So yeah, that's the loadout. I think I'm gonna do it here in a second. You'll be able to see. So Choir's gonna clear out these guys, and then I think what I end up doing is using Hipfire to chunk down the barrier, and just get it stunnable, or get it to where it's gonna throw up its shield, and just have and then I have Supremacy ready. I'm pretty sure I do that here coming up. Ammo was not a problem at all. 2 kinetic weapons. We've got that kinetic, I forget the name of the perk, but those gray kinetic bricks. Yeah, double specials completely fine here. I probably could have been a little bit more aggressive if I had wanted to with like a super. But I did want to save all of that for the next room coming up, because the overloads in there can, they tend to be a little annoying. And we can still stun overloads in our super. But yeah, that was we just saw the combo I was talking about. So I used Choir to get it low, swapped to Supremacy to pop the shield and create a rupture, and then swap to the Heavy Sniper to pop the rupture. It's easy. Yeah, so the overloads start getting a little annoying here. Dodges a Duskfield, and then dodges my Ascension. So I go ahead and pop Transcendence to deal with them. I'm not sure why this didn't stun immediately, but there it goes. Create the rupture. Boom. Just that easy. And get ammo back. So you can see, just keep an eye on the overshield here. It's gonna be pretty often that we have overshield and woven mail at the same time on this build. We get it back on every kill while our health is full. While we have woven mail, it's gonna be pretty hard to chunk it down at all. So again, just lets us be very aggressive. So I'm keeping an eye on the overshield as as I'm moving through the room and like clearing everything. And if it ever gets low, I can just disengage. Like if the overshield starts to get low, that's my sign. I can start to disengage. So, as far as the subclass goes, yeah, so, Duskfield is for overloads and, building Dark Transcendence. I'll get kind of low there. The, Threaded Spike, thanks to the artifact, anytime we have a Void Overshield, it's going to be weakening with the Threaded Spike. So those are doing a lot for us. Each one of them is weakening everything it hits. It's severing everything it hits. And it's making us radiant. And the weaken and radiant are going to stack with the Fortune's Favor buff. We're running Ascension and Clone. There's gonna be numerous times that you can see enemies targeting the clone instead of me, and it's especially gonna be important in the boss room. The nice thing about the Ascension Clone combo is that it works in the super. You get unlimited class ability while you're in that super. So a lot of times you'll see me kind of end a super with an Ascension just to create a clone and make sure that they're targeting it instead of me when I come out of super. And you get those you get your class ability back, so you can burn one at the end of the super and then immediately have it back once you're out of super. Yeah, so we got pretty low there. I want to take another look here. I can't remember. Did we have our overshield at that? I think we got hit with two. Okay, so our overshield got stripped. Then we get hit again. Okay. So yeah, those shanks are hitting pretty hard because of arc threat. So no overshield, but pretty close to full on the regular health, and then got really low off like... That must have been one hit. I think two would have killed us in that scenario. But you see what I mean. In when the overshield was stripped, you know, if I hadn't had the overshield, our health would have been low and I would have had to disengage earlier. This just lets you be a little bit more aggressive while still playing it safe. That's really kind of the play style here. I had a feeling Fortune's Favor would be good before it came out. And I'm definitely enjoying it so far. This is the second GM that I've soloed with it. Vastly different builds. It's a very versatile exotic in that way. The Duskfield stuns are pretty good for dealing with these, because a lot of the times the ruptures will spawn on their back, and with the Duskfields like freezing, it can kind of help hold them in place while you rotate. Hello? Okay. There we go. Hello? Alright. If that happens again, I'm gonna restart the video. Not sure what's up with that. So we're a little low on overshield right now. But I think what happened there was we got to full health and then got a kill, so it started to come back. One tapping these shanks with the heavy sniper. Those normally take, I think, at least 2 with supremacy, and more than that with Choir of One. So just a very quick way to deal with them. Our armor is Tech Sec and Ferropotent. So anytime we start to recover health, we're getting 10% DR for 7 seconds from the tech sec is doing more work than it looks like. There's plenty of shields that get popped and like plenty of ads that get one tapped. That would not have been one tapped if if I wasn't using TechSec. I experimented with 4-piece TechSec, but that just wasn't needed. Extra DR was more helpful. Like barrier shields, I think they have to be a crit. Without TechSec to pop them in one hit with the heavy sniper, but with damn, yep. See, so I immediately ascensioned on that, and it shifted its attention, which probably saved my life there. So yeah, TechSec is doing a lot. These rage banes, they can get pretty ridiculous with their DR at -50. It didn't happen on this run, but I lost a previous run because a Cyclops spawned as a Rage Bane, and I mean it was just taking so much damage, and I was getting greedy and peeking more often than I should have, and it ended up getting me. So yeah, Rage can be pretty nasty at this kind of delta. All right. In case you didn't know, also shout out to Chablo91. In case you didn't know, you can stagger it so that you can kind of control the ad spawns here and just make sure that you're not like getting too many at once. Essentially, you just want to like spawn an ad wave by stepping on the plate long enough and then step off once each wave kind of comes in. That way you're dealing with each wave one at a time. If this boss spawns like while you still have ads up, it can get really ridiculous just because it can freeze you so easily. In fact, it's about to happen here. Right here. Yep. So you don't want that happening when there's like a million ads still up. Yeah, and you can see this ammo hunt. Just ammo is not an issue at all. I think we're at like 130, 140 weapons. Probably don't even need that much. So this section's a little interesting. There's the first arc. What do you call those? Like the arc balls that you can grab. The first one that you can grab is from the barrier, from killing that. But if you do that and then try to dunk immediately, there's a ton of enemies up top that will like shoot down at you while you're trying to dunk. And the dunk animation is, fairly long. You just don't want to be exposed. So I'm trying to clear as much as I can before attempting any of that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my video player. But yeah, I'm trying to clear out as much as I can, including up top, before I try to make any sort of dunks. I kind of scuff this barrier stun by shooting the rupture with supremacy instead of the heavy sniper. But we got it done. And then yeah, just so the first arc charge is on the ground now, but I do need to clear some of these harpies first. The tech sec armor is going to come into play here. I can't remember. I feel like even with crits, it was taking more than one hit to take down the harpies without tech sec. But it for sure was not one tapping them without the crits. So either way, I mean, tech sec just makes clearing them a lot easier. And especially in the boss room, there were a lot of enemies like that I just needed to reliably take them out fast. So, tech sec was putting in work. Yeah. So if you don't grab the arc surge before it expires, it'll go away, but then respawn on a regular hobgoblin. So it's not like you killed a barrier for nothing. You can leave it and then just deal with a normal hobgoblin later. So yeah, just gotta clear some of these harpies still. This is the Hydra I was talking about that spawned as a rage before. It was just absolutely soaking up all the damage I was throwing at it. So I got greedy and it got me. But luckily it wasn't a rage this particular run. I was looking for the arc charge up there. It had fallen down, but we got some ammo back anyway. And now we can dunk. So that overload, I don't know. It's usually over on more to the right, like with the wyverns and stuff, but I lucked out this time and it was pretty isolated, so I was able to draw it over, get a super easy kill on it. I am going for a quote unquote platinum run with this, meaning all champions killed. If you weren't aware, like the pre-Edge of Fate Grandmasters were like that, where the scoring was based on how many champions you killed, so a platinum was all champions killed. So yeah, that's still kind of my standard. I just go for all champion kills. Not necessarily all enemies, even though that would, in this scoring system, like that would objectively come out with a higher score, but yeah. Just decided not to deal with these wyverns today. You could also see there, like if you go back, I made a clone in midair, and then with that plus the amplified, just let me walk around everything, grab my scorch cannon, and take off. This part right here, it was just it was easier to deal with these dregs with supremacy than with like getting in a pike. Like it would just take a million shots. Probably I would lose at least a pike trying to do it. So it was just easier with supremacy. This barrier is easier to kill if it comes over close to us. It's which it will do eventually. So I'm just putting damage on the walker until then. There's gonna be a spawn behind me that I don't really deal with, so I'm gonna lose this piker or pike. Yeah, I should have turned around earlier, but whatever. Can always go get another pike, which we're gonna do. And then I just go ahead and scoop these that ammo. I'm trying to get a suspend on this barrier. It just doesn't really work timing wise. I try again and it still doesn't work. It's worked on previous runs, but you know at that point I just say okay whatever. I'll just pop it with the sniper. Excuse me. So that's dealt with. Now we can just DPS the walker. Yeah, I hope next week's GM doesn't really have any vehicles or anything. These vehicle sections, like I said before, just a little boring because they're the exact same no matter what build you're on, what class you're on. I know you don't have to use them, but you know it's a walker. Like it just speeds up the run. That might not be true, actually. I don't know. With kinetic ruptures, maybe I could have done more damage just sniping it down or something. But yeah, once that's dealt with, we've got this hallway coming up. So there's a barrier here that's pretty easy to skip, but like I said, I just wanted to go ahead and deal with it. And for some reason, this barrier, it takes a it takes its sweet time before it throws up its barrier, even once you've put a lot of damage on it. Like most would, yeah, there we go. Most would have barriered earlier than that. So I'm trying to do the skip. There's a better route than I took here, but we made it. We made it work. And I almost get frozen here, but get past it, and we're at the boss room. So this took some experimentation. I had to watch. I mean, again, Chablo 91. But he's got two spots that you can be pretty safe in this room. There's also a way to kind of semi cheese this and get back to being up top like that. But I didn't really want to do it for this run. So that's the last shank. That's going to spawn everything, and I'm going to hide in here. This is where you kind of got to deal with things quickly, because it all spawns at once. You kind of got to deal with it as quickly as you can before getting overwhelmed. So the boss is still able to kind of get to me, so I decide I better, go ahead and get a little more active. I was trying to hold on to the super as long as I could, just kind of let as many enemies group up near her as possible, which ended up working out. I'm targeting this captain now. This guy will ruin your day if you don't deal with him fast. And there's going to be another one after the first damage phase. But got that one taken care of. Got most of the ads taken care of. You can see the heavy sniper's just ideal for dealing with these Duskfield Shanks. It's, with the shield and everything, even without precision hits or anything, it's just one tapping them. This guy's pretty annoying with how mobile he gets. I totally understand why so many people are clearing this with the lightsaber. It wasn't quite working for me. But we got it done this way. So this is a really good showcase of why I brought 2 snipers. I would be out of ammo at this point if I had only brought the heavy, or vice versa. Having both is they're distinct enough that both ends up being really good. You can use supremacy at even close range. We've seen that a few times, me doing that. It's just so good. All right, so this overload wanted to deal with him fast. There might have been better ways to deal with it. I maybe could have just gone ahead and hit a super immediately and tried to get as much of this out of the way as possible. Again, I think my mentality was just I want to just hold off on the super as long as I can and just make the most of it. This barrier ends up getting away from me, so all these harpies are shooting at me. So I wanted to get a stun on the barrier before popping the super. It ended up not working out. And then this visual bug made me think it was out of its barrier when it wasn't, so I wasted a few swings on that. So that was a decent super. It saved our life. Got a few enemies down. There's still a ton of harpies up, but this is where the second safe spot in the room kind of comes in. So we're going to go behind here. And we're running a little low on ammo. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I want to get a few of these harpies down and then maybe go on an ammo hunt. You can see supremacy is good. It's just as far as getting these harpies and everything down quickly, it's you can't beat the heavy sniper. Again, they're both weapons are unique enough that it was definitely worth bringing both along. And then here we've got Choir of One putting in work. All 3 weapons that I brought along to this are just monsters. Each one of them is a monster. So Choir's going to clear out anything that comes close super efficiently. So I'm trying to decide if it's safe to go on an ammo hunt now. Make a clone, just kind of get some aggro off me, and then go on my ammo hunt. We're back at full heavy here. And we're back at full special. Look at that. So we're going to deal with a few more harpies here. I'm just trying to clear everything before I go after the Hydra. That's the thing about these boss rooms in GMs. Like they look so overwhelming the first time you get to them, but you just, you know, just take a little experimentation, just take some time to understand how the rooms work. These are not infinite ad spawns. They are definitely finite. So just getting down all the ads and just leaving the, you know, your major targets up, it's going to make them a lot easier to deal with. This barrier gave me a little bit of trouble. So we get the pop, and then we miss the rupture. I try to get it with choir, like I just kind of panicking a little bit. Get the pop again, and then it's just like not reloading like I'm expecting it to. I'm expecting it to be reloaded as soon as I see the bullet go in the animation, but that's just not always the case. It happened a couple times earlier as well. Yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't quite work 100% how I expected. But we got the barrier. That's the last champion for the run. And the Hydra's down. Gonna top up on ammo and go for the dunk. So I cut this way, which ended up working out really well. It makes it look like I know what I'm doing. I just kind of chose a random direction, but the captain spawns there, and we kill him immediately with our super, which was pretty critical. Like, again, those captains can really mess up your day if you don't deal with them fast. We needed to get that guy down with our super, and we did. So that just worked out with the way I juked. I mean, next time I run this, I mean, I'll know that intentionally, but yeah, it just worked out this time. So no overshield here. I'm just trying to get as much of these guys down as possible. Try to stop taking damage from them. So now we got our overshield back. We cleared a lot of those guys. Destabilizing rounds on choir is just enormous. It's just huge. Choir hits so hard, and then destabilizing rounds is such a good ad clear perk. Such a good weapon. I'm not sure. The week that I recorded this, there was like a special ammo like surge or something, like special ammo weapons doing more damage. I'm not sure if that's like I'm not sure if that applies to these alerts or not. If it does, then I guess choir's not going to be hitting as hard next week. It feels like this is about where it should be. It's not like it's immediately nuking everything, but I don't know. It'd be weird if it did less damage than this, I think. So we've gotten most of the ads down. I think we're getting another wave here in a second. Yeah. If I'm starting to take fire and I have a dodge, I just go ahead and ascension so I can create a clone, get some heat off me. Here's the next spawn, so I go ahead and pop a super. I really wanted Silk Strike for this run. I don't know what Thou does. But yeah, I just really wanted Silk Strike for this run. It's very flexible. Like you can kind of pick your targets and go after them very quickly. You can disengage quickly, create clones as you're disengaging. It's a very targeted, very like versatile super. Tether is very good. Even Silence and Squall is very good, but neither of them like it's just a one-off. It's not very like if the ads are super spread out like they have been here. Silk Strike's just gonna be better. Plus, with Facet of Purpose, you can stack Woven Mail and the Void Overshield. So it's just me and the boss now. Like I said, once you understand it's not infinite ads, it just becomes a matter of like safely getting everything down so you can deal with the boss by himself. So the rest is fairly self-explanatory. We're gonna see here in a second. I'm gonna get stun locked for a bit. There's Chill Touch on as a modifier, so he's gonna melee me a couple times and just kind of keep me stun locked for a little bit, which is coming up. Those ruptures can be a little tricky. Just like visually, they'll look perfectly good to shoot in a certain location and just not be. Yep. So that's the end of the run. Oh, that's the other thing. Silk Strike it's weakening like just as like in the Silk Strike just because I still have a Void Overshield while I'm in it. But yeah, thank you for watching. There's going to be more solo GM content coming soon. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks.